and welcome to today's video. My name is Katja and this is Core & Co. So today's video is going to be about the importance of a correct squat and all the different things that we can do with the squat once we have the basic principles of how to execute it effectively and efficiently. So many people have a misconception of what a squat is, and there's some really basic principles if you follow you kind of can't go wrong. So we're going to go through all of those things today, and then we're going to incorporate a little bit of ball at the end just to give you an example of how we can incorporate a ball in a squat exercise, a standing squat exercise. Okay, so we'll first of all start with a few stretches just to stretch out the areas of the body that we're going to be working today by doing a squat. We're going to be doing a regular stance and we're going to be doing a wide stance as well. So we're just going to start by lifting one leg up, just tucking it behind like this, just holding on to it there, just stretching out that bent leg. So to start with, we're going to put our feet so they're almost together on the mat, they're almost touching. We're going to lift the toes up so the weight's in the heels. We'll spread all the toes out as wide as they'll go, and then we're going to put the little toes down first on your left and right foot at the same time. It's all about controlling the toes and appreciating the balance between your feet and the mat. So from here we're going to put the big toes down. And trying to keep those 3 toes up in the middle is super difficult, and then you put those 3 toes down in the middle last. Okay, so nice straight legs, nice straight hips, square, like front on, core, keep the core locked in nice and tight, really squeezing, contracting the muscles of the abdominals, And then from there we're just going to keep the shoulders back, keep the head up nice and proud like a ballet dancer. It's really important to have the shoulders back, stand up sideways on. So you get this nice straight channel through here. It's not straight, it's neutral in spine world. So just keep the spine in a nice neutral position, keep the shoulders rolled back, and then from here, keeping that contact with all of the toes on the mat, we're going to put almost like pivot the hip over to the side, like pivot. So if you pivot this way, you're putting all the weight through this joint just here, and you can take this side away. If you pivot this way, we're going to lift this side up. So just trying to think of using these as your anchors of where balance comes from when you take away one leg. So we'll go back to the start and we'll do that stretch. We're going to stretch out this quadricep. So you're fanning all the toes out, just getting a nice strong relationship with the mat. We're just going to pivot over ever so slightly and just raise one leg. We start on whichever side you feel more confident. Just putting your hand around the front of the ankle. We're just going to squeeze it into the bum. Putting the hand on the other wrist, on the other waist, the other side of your waist. And just squeezing that all together, knees together, squeeze the bum cheeks, keeps the spine in a nice neutral position, shoulders back, facing forward. We're just going to hang on to that there. It's a great stretch to do this squat, and it's also a great balance exercise. Facing forward, thinking about all the weight going through that hip, keeping everything as still as you possibly can. And then I would say after 25-30 seconds, we're just going to release that foot down nice and gently. Relax the hand off the hip. Then we're going to switch sides. I like to get the hand on the hip first. And just spread the toes out, keeping the core locked nice and tight. Just lifting that foot up, grabbing onto the front of the ankle and just drawing the knees in together, squeezing the bum cheeks, really gripping down with the toes. Keep facing forward. Think about your breathing. Really feel the stretch in the quadricep. From the front of the groin down to the knee. Really stretch out the muscle. You're going to need these for your squats. It's really important that you stretch them first. this is a really good exercise to do that with. So hopefully you're able to hold on to that and you're nice and balanced. And if you're not nice and balanced, then this will help your balance no end. So it's really important that you just stay with it. But we are going to release. So dropping the foot down nice and gently. That's great. And then from there, I'm just going to turn to the side and I'm going to take one leg forward and one leg back. So both feet are facing forward. It's good if you do this in a mirror so you can see that one foot isn't veering off to the side. The back leg is straight, it's bent at like a 30-degree angle. There's a slight bend in this foot. Just going to put the hands on the waist. Shoulders back, facing forward, drawing the core in nice and tight. We're just stretching out the calf on the straight leg. Heels down, feet are flat. Just feeling a gentle push on this leg. I'm going to step the back leg in. I'm going to step the back leg in to join the front. And we're going to take the other foot back. So both feet are facing forward. This leg is straightened out. That's how you'll know how far to go. Because you need to be still upright, essentially. So just take the foot back as far as it feels comfortable to be straight. It's really important that the leg is straight, that the weight is pushed down through the heel. Both feet facing forward, keeping the weight in the centre, over the hips, over the core. Keeping the tummy pulled in nice and tight, shoulders back. And just allow the stretch to happen. Really releasing all the tension around the Achilles heel. It's a really great stretch to stay with. The longer you stay with it, the deeper the stretch will become, and the easier it will be to do it the next time and the time after that. That's why stretching is so important, because it gives so much more movement, a greater range of movement, more flexibility, more strength. How many people have Achilles heels problems? Millions. So really staying with that. Trying to keep the feet as straight as possible. I love to do this in the mirror, because if I don't do it in the mirror, I think, oh yeah, they feel like they're probably straight. And you look down and they're kind of all over the place. And it's really important to have those straight channels. So imagine that your feet are on like a railway line. But we're going to release that stretch, bring it back into the middle, just stretching out the legs a little bit. So we're going to get into the squat now. So there are so many misconceptions of how a squat should work. So I'm going to go through basically the way that I was taught when I was taught to teach like aerobics years ago by this amazing lady, and all these little mantras and visualizations that stuck with me. And if you can visualize what you need to do, then there will be no misconception of what it is that you're supposed to be doing. Because if you're like, oh yeah, I get it, but really you don't get it, then you're not going to be able to figure it out. And doing this on your own, you need confidence that you have the knowledge. So I think a squat is a really important thing to go through, because so much of the stuff that we're going to do is having those good quality, like basic principles of movement nailed down. So that's why I wanted to do a whole video about the squat. So I'm going to stand this way, and then I'm going to stand this way and this way and this way, so you can see it from all different angles. So hopefully you can see it in this mirror too. So feet should be facing forward. If you think, oh yeah, they're facing forward, but really they're kind of like this, but only a tiny bit, it still makes a huge difference, because when you squat and you drop the weight, instead of the knees going out like in a straight line like this, they go out like this, like kind of Charlie Chaplin legs. I'll do it from the side. So a correct squat, you're going to go down like this. But slightly bowed feet, you're going to go out like that. And it totally changes all of the positions all around here. So it's super important. And this will help improve your posture at the same time. And doing it correctly. And, you know, if we were doing it incorrectly, then it's not going to help improve your posture. And that's the importance of these subtle things. So feet facing forward, about hip distance apart. So draw a nice straight line up here to the hips and up to the shoulders. So you have a nice straight line. With the tummy pulled in nice and tight, think about spreading those toes, getting the baby toes down first, then the big toes. And just having that foundation where you're just pushing with every toe that you have. But the weight still remains in the heels, so you can pick the toes up so the weight stays back. So when I was being taught to teach, this lady said, imagine girls that you're going on a night out to a club and you're in this gross toilet at 2 o'clock in the morning and you did not want to sit down on it. So, you know, you sit back as if you don't want to sit on the toilet. So you just kind of hover. So the weight's in the heels at this point. But we're going to go down in a straight line at the same time. Like imagine a rod going through your spine. You're going down in a nice straight line. The knees never go over the toes. So you should be able to get your hands from your elbows down to the fingertips there. So pushing the bum back, sucking the tummy in, keeping the shoulders back as well. If you look down as you squat, all your posture is going to roll over and it's going to be really heavy and rounded. And you want to keep it back, keep the weight balanced. So sticking the bum back, I'm going to just push my arms forward with it. So the weight's in the heels, the bum's back, the spine's in a neutral position. And then from here we just stand and push down like this. Just going to do a few squats, keeping the tummy pulled in, just raising the toes, just wiggling the toes about. You can see the weight's planted firmly in the heels. Do it this way. So hopefully you can see it here. So from there we can do it wider, still facing forward. So if you do this on a mat, which you should definitely do, this straight edge here will be the same as this straight edge here. So it's not going to be slightly turned out, it's going to be super parallel still, even though it's wide. So the knees are now kind of over the hips, shoulders nice and square, tummy pulled in. So you're almost gripping now with the insides of the heels. If your feet feel like they're going to slip away, you need to really grip with here and here. Think about just drawing all of those muscles in and keep it super centered. So from here, same thing, we're just going to push the bum back, keeping the shoulders up, facing forward, keeping the weight of the head nice and central. Go a bit too wide here. Making sure the knees don't go over the toes. So from here is where we could draw in a ball just to finish off. So I'm using the yellow ball today, which is the smallest one. This one is a 45 centimetre ball, so pumped up it should be 45 centimetres from the floor to the stopper where you put the air in. But unfortunately this one, when it arrived, it came out kind of M&M shape, and I'm trying to use it as much as possible so if it kind of rounds up a bit, but it's, it's still a bit wobbly. Okay, so this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to hold the ball in front of me. So I'm holding kind of the middle of the ball right here. We use this as the middle here and these little circular lines like right over the middle, either side like this. I'm going to hold it out in front of the chest, standing in a neutral position, keeping the weight in the heels, the tummy pulled in nice and tight. We're going to push the bum back, and as we push the bum back, we're going to push the ball away. And then return everything back to the centre, come up to standing. Just keeping everything still. We're just going to do some reps here. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, That's 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and push. Hopefully you should feel the muscle engaging just here, and like that stress and the shaking sensation that you're doing some work to your muscles. It's really important that you recognise that feeling and then you follow the guidelines of your body. So if 10 is not enough, please do 20. If 10's way too much, then just do 5, you know, just do a couple. But you can also put a variation into it. So I'll turn this way. So this time, actually, maybe I should stand. I don't know, I'll turn. So when we come up this time, as we come up, I'm going to put the ball in the air and I'm going to kick out one leg like this. So I'm going to squat into it, take the ball away, and then as I come up, I'm going to go like this. Really deep-seated pushes back to get the energy to then push up and push the leg out. Just going from right to left. Just hold on to the raised leg. Nice and slow and controlled. You can make it a little more physical if you want. But that's just a really good introduction to how we can incorporate a ball with a squat. So I think we should finish with the ball now. I think that's enough. Hopefully you've understood the principles of the squat. So I'm just going to finish with a few stretches, and then if you have any questions or any comments, or if it doesn't make sense or it contradicts what you have been told, then please feel free to leave me any comments and I'll try and explain it further as much as possible. Hopefully it does, hopefully you get it, and then hopefully we can implement that in further videos. Okay, so we're just gonna lie back on the mat, bringing the knees into the chest. Really squeezing the knees together, putting the forearms around the outside of the shins. Just doing a little rock here from side to side, just rolling over the liver and the kidneys. Just going to take these 2 fingers and put them around the insides of the big toes, just letting the knees drop back towards the armpit. Bent the knees, just relaxing the feet out. This is the yoga pose, happy baby. I think it feels nice and relaxing after doing squats to be in a position that really drives your spine back into the mat. It's a really good core workout to have the strength to do a good squat. So it's really important that you stretch out all the core as well. So I'm going to take one knee down on the other foot across the front of the other knee, like this, pushing this knee out. And then we're going to take the hands through this gap and lock them on the outside of the other shin, just drawing that knee into the chest, using a basket grip interlocking the fingers, just drawing this knee into the chest, raising the head if you like, just stretching out all under here. Lots of deep muscle usage from doing the squats, and the deeper the squats, the more you need to push down on those muscles to lift you back up to standing. So it's really important that you stretch all of this out now. I'm just taking this knee across here, drawing this one into the chest too. Oh, I can really feel that on my left side. I think that my left side is probably a bit weaker for this exercise than my right. So I can just feel that in the muscle a little bit more. Just remember that your left and right, you know, are completely individual as well as a set. So it's really important to treat everything equal from left to right and not switch the video off at this point and be like, oh, I'm not interested in stretching. Because this is such an important part, you know, to acknowledge the muscles that you have worked and then show them the respect they deserve by stretching them out afterwards. Because if you don't, you're going to wake up tomorrow and you're going to feel terrible, you know, and everything's going to be killing. You're going to say, oh God, I hate that girl, I hate that catcher woman. So just please just stretch. It's so important, it's so relevant. It's just going to allow the muscles just to stretch out. But they've been pulled, they've been made to do things they didn't want to do. So this is just allowing them to just decompress. So just relaxing those muscles out. Just doing some circles with the feet towards each other and then away from each other. And just lowering the feet down over to the side and then bring yourself up to seating from there. So we're going to take one leg out straight. And we're going to bring one knee in as far as we can to the chest like this. So the foot is almost pressed against this leg. We're going to flex this foot back. And then we're going to take our upper body. We're going to take our arms up here. We're going to take round the inside of this knee with this elbow. Here I'm going to go round the back of the knee. Almost reaching under and then grabbing the other arm if you can. You know, getting as close to this as possible. It's absolutely fine. Just get as far as you can and respect your body's limitations. And then from here, we're just going to take the head down as far as we can. Just really stretching out this straight leg here, all up the back. All around the backs of the arms. And then when you're ready, just release the arms from around the back of the leg. We're going to switch legs, bringing up the other knee. So bringing the upper body in front of this bent knee, wrapping that elbow around the back, grabbing on with the other arm, flexing the foot on the straight leg, trying to bring the face down, bringing the chin down to the shin. It's like a binding on this wrist behind my back. I don't know if you can see that. It's like a bound where I'm hanging on to the other wrist. That's a binding. I can just make it. Just embracing the stretch, taking deep breaths, breathing through the nose now. Thinking about all that squatting knowledge you've just learned. If any of that is news and if any of that is helpful, if any of those principles make sense, then you will be able to squat more efficiently. And it will put a lot less stress on maybe your knees, ankles, your Achilles heel, your hips, your spine. And it's really important to have that correct posture. Just straightening that leg out now. Sorry, just straightening those legs out. We're going to stretch up from the waist, pushing away. Keep facing forward, squeezing the arms into the ears, to the temples. Straightening those legs out, flexing the feet back to face you. Really stretching out from the middle, pulling down from the ankles at the same time. We get a really nice 90-degree bend with your body. You are an L. And we're going to stretch the upper body down. Think about where your hands are. Pulling away from the body. We're going to pull all the way down to the feet. pulling the arms down as far as they'll go, wrapping them around the back of the feet if you can, really pushing down on the backs of the knees and straightening out the legs, allowing the head to be heavy, dropping the head in between the arms if you can, down to the shins. You know, just get as far as you can. Just get as far as you can, even if you just have to hang on here and you just bent down to there, absolutely fine. So just finishing off there with that stretch. So thank you very much for watching this video. I hope that you enjoyed it and you learn about the importance of squatting correctly, and hopefully I will see you in the next video. So thank you very much again. If you like the video, you can say something about it down there. And if you have any feedback, then please leave it down there for me too. So thanks very much for watching. This has been Core & Co, and I will see you next time. Bye bye.